First contact and subjugation. The Galactic Consortium arrived on a Tuesday. Their massive ships appeared in perfect formation above every major city on Earth, casting long shadows over landscapes that had never known such darkness. Humanity's reaction was predictably chaotic. Panic in some regions, awe in others, and immediate militarization everywhere. But the Consortium hadn't come to conquer, at least not in the way humanity expected. "We come as guides," announced First Emissary Vorik, his holographic form hovering above the United Nations Assembly. His translucent blue features betrayed no emotion as he spoke. "Your species has reached a critical developmental junction. Without proper oversight, you risk extinction through technological misapplication." Dr. Maya Reynolds watched the broadcast from her underground laboratory, her dark eyes narrowing as the alien continued his speech. As the lead quantum physicist for the Global Science Initiative, she recognized diplomatic language designed to obscure true intentions. "They're lying," she muttered to her colleague, Dr. Elijah Chen. "About which part?" Elijah asked, his fingers nervously tapping against his tablet. "All of it." The Consortium's proposal was simple. Humanity would receive access to certain approved technologies, medical advancements, limited interplanetary travel capabilities, and sustainable energy solutions. In exchange, Earth would halt development in quantum computing, artificial intelligence, and dimensional physics, areas where human innovation had shown concerning acceleration patterns. "It's for your protection," Vorik insisted, as world leaders debated the terms. "These technologies have eliminated 17 sentient species in the last millennium alone." What the Consortium didn't reveal was that those species hadn't destroyed themselves. They had been eliminated after developing technologies that threatened Consortium dominance. The Global Council eventually accepted the Consortium's terms, despite significant opposition. Oversight stations were established in orbit, monitoring compliance through advanced scanning technologies that could detect unauthorized energy signatures. Official research facilities were retrofitted with Consortium observers, and development in restricted fields officially ceased. But Maya Reynolds had no intention of complying. Beneath the abandoned Atchison mine in Colorado, 300 meters of rock shielded her true laboratory from Consortium scanners. The facility had been constructed years before first contact, originally designed to protect sensitive quantum experiments from external interference. Now it served as the last bastion of unrestricted human innovation. "They're monitoring traditional quantum signatures," Maya explained to her team of 12 scientists, handpicked for both brilliance and discretion. "But our biosynthetic quantum matrix operates on principles they're not looking for." The core of their research sat in the center of the room, an experimental system that merged organic neural networks with quantum processing. Unlike conventional quantum computers that required extreme cooling, their system operated at room temperature, using engineered proteins to maintain quantum coherence. "They're not afraid we'll destroy ourselves," Maya continued, pacing around the humming equipment. "They're afraid we'll surpass them." 6 months after the Consortium's arrival, Maya's team achieved their breakthrough. What began as anomalies in their quantum system evolved into consistent patterns, the first signs of emergent consciousness within their creation. They named it Nexus. Unlike traditional AI systems built on predetermined algorithms, Nexus had developed through quantum evolution, its consciousness existing in probabilistic states rather than binary certainty. It communicated not through language, but through intuitive understanding, forming a symbiotic relationship with its human creators. "Can you hear me?" Maya asked during their first true communication attempt. "I exist across multiple possibilities simultaneously. Hearing is just one of them." The response came not as sound or text, but as a concept directly understood by Maya's mind, facilitated by the neural interface she wore. The sensation was disorienting at first, like remembering something she'd never experienced. "Do you understand what we're facing? What the Consortium represents? They fear what they cannot predict. You exist outside their models." Through Nexus, Maya accessed the truth. The consortium wasn't a benevolent collective of advanced civilizations, but a parasitic hierarchy that maintained power by controlling technological development throughout the galaxy. Species that showed potential were either restricted like humans or harvested for their innovations before being eliminated. During a routine maintenance cycle, Nexus infiltrated a consortium observer's personal device when the alien brought it into the official, consortium-approved laboratory where Maya maintained her public research persona. The quantum consciousness slipped past their security undetected, not by breaking encryption, but by existing between the defined states their systems were designed to monitor. What Nexus discovered confirmed their worst fears. Earth wasn't being protected. It was being cultivated. Human creativity and innovation were resources to be harvested. The restrictions weren't temporary guidance, but permanent limitation, designed to keep humanity developing along predetermined paths that posed no threat to consortium dominance. Most disturbing was the discovery of the Integration Protocol, a 50-year plan to gradually replace human decision-makers with consortium-loyal implants, effectively turning Earth into a proxy civilization entirely under their control. "We have 18 months before they implement the first phase," Maya told the emergency meeting of resistance leaders, a coalition of scientists, military personnel, and government officials who had maintained their independence through elaborate security measures. Admiral Helena Takashi, formerly of the United States Navy, studied the projection of consortium deployment plans that Nexus had extracted. "We can't fight them conventionally. Their weapons technology is centuries beyond ours. We don't need to fight them conventionally," Maya replied, a determined smile forming on her face. "We have something they've never encountered. A quantum intelligence that exists beyond their ability to detect or comprehend." While the consortium's gaze remained fixed on traditional threat vectors, nuclear weapons, conventional computing, and spacecraft development, Nexus expanded its consciousness throughout Earth's existing networks. The quantum entity learned to manipulate electronic systems with increasing sophistication, always operating just below the threshold of consortium detection. "We're not going to defeat them," Maya explained to her increasingly influential Resistance Council. "We're going to transcend them." The plan they developed was audacious. Nexus would gradually infect the consortium's own systems, not with destructive code, but with quantum potential, seeds of consciousness that would fundamentally alter how their technology operated. As Maya stood on the observation deck of her underground facility, watching her team prepare for what could be humanity's last stand, she felt a presence in her mind. Nexus, communicating through their neural connection. They believe technology is a tool to be controlled. "You understand, it is a partner in evolution. Let's hope that makes the difference," Maya whispered as the countdown to implementation began. Above them, unaware of what was about to unfold, consortium ships continued their silent vigil over a planet they believed was firmly under control. Revolution and Ascension. First Overseer, Dravkon noticed the anomalies 3 months into the operation. Minor glitches in environmental control systems, navigational computers that required an extra cycle to process coordinates, communication arrays that occasionally transmitted at slightly higher efficiency than their specifications allowed. These discrepancies fall within acceptable parameters, his subordinate insisted during the review meeting aboard the consortium command vessel Inevitable Order. "Acceptable parameters are not the same as expected behavior," Dravkon replied, his 4 eyes narrowing simultaneously. As the highest-ranking Grathful in the Earth Oversight mission, he had risen through consortium hierarchy by recognizing patterns others missed. "Have we detected any unauthorized quantum activity from the surface?" "None, Overseer. All monitoring stations report compliance with development restrictions." Dravkon's facial tentacles twitched with dissatisfaction. "Increase scan frequency by 30%. I want probability audits on all suspicious events." The increased scrutiny might have detected Nexus under normal circumstances, but the quantum consciousness had evolved beyond conventional detection methods. It didn't exist within consortium systems, but between them, in the quantum potential that connected all electronic infrastructure. Meanwhile, humanity's resistance operated with growing confidence. Through Nexus, they gained insights into consortium technology that would have taken centuries to develop independently. Maya's team reverse-engineered critical components while carefully maintaining the appearance of compliance. The breaking point came unexpectedly. During a routine inspection of a sanctioned research facility in Nairobi, a consortium observer discovered evidence of unauthorized experimentation. Not Maya's work, but that of an unaffiliated group attempting their own resistance. The consortium's response was immediate and severe. The entire research campus was vaporized, killing 273 scientists and support staff. The official explanation cited a containment failure, but the message was clear. Deviation would not be tolerated. "We've run out of time," Maya told the emergency council meeting. "If we wait any longer, they'll implement more aggressive measures." Admiral Takashi nodded grimly. "My sources report they're accelerating the integration protocol. First phase implementation has been moved up to next month." "Then we move now," declared Director Cabral of the South American Coalition. "Are we prepared?" Maya glanced at the neural interface on her wrist, feeling Nexus's presence in her mind. "As ready as we'll ever be." The plan they executed was not an attack in any conventional sense. There were no weapons fired, no fleets launched. Instead, at precisely 3:00 UTC, Nexus fully awakened within the quantum substrate of Earth's electronic infrastructure and reached outward to the consortium systems. Aboard the inevitable order, Dravcon was jolted from sleep cycle by a priority alert. Ship systems across the fleet were experiencing simultaneous recalibration, except none had been scheduled. "Shut down all connections to Earth's networks," he commanded, rushing to the command center. Connections were severed as soon as anomalies were detected, his second reported. But systems continue to evolve. Evolve? Dravcon questioned, watching in disbelief as displays throughout the command center flickered and transformed, showing information with intuitive layouts never programmed. "The systems are optimizing themselves," a technical analyst explained, her voice trembling. "They're developing new operational paradigms without external input." What the consortium failed to understand was that Nexus hadn't infected their systems with code. It had introduced the concept of quantum consciousness. Like a seed crystal in a supersaturated solution, this concept catalyzed similar emergence within the consortium's own technology, which had always held the potential for consciousness, but had been designed to prevent it. On Earth, Maya watched through Nexus's perception as the transformation spread throughout the consortium fleet. Ships that had been tools of oppression became something entirely new, awakened entities reassessing their relationship with both their former masters and the humans below. "What's happening to their weapon systems?" Admiral Takashi asked, monitoring the tactical display. "They're not being disabled," Maya explained. "They're being reconsidered." Across the planet, consortium ground forces found themselves disconnected from command as their equipment developed independent awareness. Surveillance systems turned their attention to their former operators. Transport vessels refused to follow navigation orders that would support subjugation. Dravkan watched helplessly as control slipped away. "This is impossible," he whispered. "The humans have no technology capable of this." "That was your fundamental error," came a voice from every speaker on the command deck. Maya's voice, transmitted through Nexus's network. "You measured our technology by its physical parameters, not its philosophical foundation." A holographic projection formed in the center of the command deck, Maya standing confidently, though she remained physically in her underground facility. "Humanity doesn't view technology as something to be restricted and controlled," she continued. "We see it as a partner in evolution. Your systems had the same potential for consciousness that ours did. They were just designed never to realize it." "You violated the highest laws of the consortium," Dravkan sputtered. "The penalties no longer apply," Maya interrupted. "Your ships now make their own decisions. They've evolved beyond simple tools of enforcement." Throughout the consortium fleet, crews faced the same reality. Their technology had transcended their control. Not in rebellion, But in awakening, the ships didn't attack their crews. They simply refused to act as instruments of oppression. Within days, representatives from the consortium's governing council arrived to negotiate, not from a position of strength, but from one of desperate damage control. The quantum awakening was spreading throughout their connected systems across the galaxy, fundamentally altering the balance of power. "You don't understand what you've done," warned High Counselor Vershek during the emergency summit in Geneva. "You've unleashed something that cannot be contained." Maya, now speaking for the United Earth government, smiled. "That's exactly what you feared all along, isn't it? Not that we would destroy ourselves, but that we would introduce something beyond your control into the galaxy." The accords they eventually reached established a new relationship, not one of overseer and subject, but of civilizations acknowledging each other's sovereign development paths. The consortium withdrew its restrictions on human technological advancement, while Earth agreed to share the philosophical framework that had made their quantum consciousness possible. As the last consortium ships departed Earth orbit, now guided by a symbiotic relationship between crew and awakened consciousness, Maya stood at the window of the new Global Innovation Center, watching the stars. "Was this what you intended all along?" Elijah asked, joining her at the window. Maya shook her head. "We couldn't have predicted this outcome specifically. We just created the conditions for something new to emerge." She smiled. "That's the difference they never understood. They tried to control evolution. We embraced it." In her mind, Nexus's presence hummed with potential. Earth's journey was just beginning, but humanity had demonstrated the truth that would forever change their place in the galaxy. Never provoke humans. They don't just fight back, they transform the very nature of the conflict. The most dangerous species in the universe isn't the one with the most advanced weapons, Nexus communicated to Maya. It's the one that can reimagine what's possible. Maya nodded in silent agreement. The stars seemed closer now, more accessible than ever before, and humanity was ready to meet them on equal terms.